team, I hope you're all well. Today we're starting a new weekly, no we're not, we're starting a weekend reading vlog. This is for POLARTHON, the Meltdown, so it's a mini POLARTHON reading vlog. And this will be starting at midnight tonight. So today is Friday and it's currently 6:30 in the evening. I just wanted to start this vlog in the daylight. So it's currently 6:30 in the evening and this reading vlog will start officially at midnight. So midnight, Friday night, Saturday morning, and we'll go through till midday on Sunday. So I'm really excited. This is 36-hour round. If you don't know what POLARTHON is, it's a readathon hosted by Jade from Jade Away Reads. I will leave a link to Jade's channel down below so you can go and check her out. She is my favourite. I love her a lot. And yeah, she does a week-long POLARTHON in February, and then she does a mini POLARTHON throughout the year at some point. Last year it was in December. She did the retreat one, Polar Retreat, and this year she's doing it now as a meltdown. So I'm really excited. There are 3 prompts and I'm hoping to complete them all with a book each, but we will see what happens. It's one of the books that I'm planning on putting on my TBR for this weekend, and it's Low Volume 2. This is a graphic novel series that Jade recommended to me, and I've read the first one and gave it 3 stars. I wasn't a massive fan. This one's way skinnier than the first one. I wasn't a huge fan, but I was very intrigued by the end of it. So we're following a character who's a bit older than what you would normally follow. Her children have grown up and moved out, and she is on a mission to rise from the depths of the sea where humanity has fled to save itself from the ravages of the dying sun and be the first human in a millennia to walk the scorched surface of the earth. There she believes a deep space probe holds the coordinates to an inhabitable world and promises to restore all hope of humanity. So I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this because I am very intrigued as to where it's going to go. But obviously on this basis, this could fit for the climate change prompt. They are now having to live like in the water, and they've had to acclimatize to the water because the sun has died and the earth's scorched. So for me, I'm going to say that counts as climate change. So this is for the climate change prompt, which I'm really excited about reading, and also it's a graphic novel, so that's really handy. You'll see why in a second. We also have the ice prompt, and for this one I'm going to be reading Melt by Elle Fountain. This is the only book left now on my Bookopoly TBR, so I'm looking forward to this. It is a middle grade, so I don't think it will take me too long to get through, and it's just over 250 pages. So it's 252 pages, so I'm really looking forward to picking this one up. This is following U2 and B. U2 lives in a remote Arctic village with his elderly grandmother. Their traditional way of life is threatened by the change in snow and ice which melts faster every year. B is trying to adapt to yet another new school. Worse still, her father's new job takes up any spare time and his behaviour has become odd and secretive. On a trip she hopes will fix things, their fate takes a drastic turn and B's life becomes entwined with U2's in a way she never could have imagined. Together they both become locked in a desperate race for survival. So this sounds really, really good. So we've got a graphic novel and a middle grade, and then we do have a reasonably sized book on here as well. So this one is to cover the prompt of weather. So I'm going for The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I've been wanting to read this for ages now. I got my copy about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I got it this month, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the beginning of the month, and I have been wanting to read it for ages. I've been trying to find an excuse to put it on my TBR somewhere, and I really wanted it to come up with a Patreon pick. My patrons had an opportunity for a poll pick for Bookopoly-thon for September and it wasn't picked. Then I put it on another one and it wasn't picked, and I was like, God fucking damn it, I really want to read this book. So Ashley happened to mention in Patreon Sprints last week that this week that she's planning on reading this for POLARTHON. Whether or not that's still her plan, I'm not sure, but she mentioned it and I was like, oh my God, how hadn't I thought of this? So this is basically following a girl called Clara. She's an Everwitch, and for centuries witches have maintained the climate change as well. It counts for that prompt too. Their power peaking in the season of their birth, but their control is faltering as the atmosphere becomes more erratic. All hope lies with Clara, whose rare magic is tied into every season. In autumn, Clara wants nothing to do with her power. It's wild and volatile, and the price of her magic losing the one she loves is too high, despite the need to control the increasingly dangerous weather. In winter, the world is on the precipice of disaster. Fires burn, storms rage, and Clara finally accepts that she's the only one who can make a difference. In spring, she falls for Sang, the witch training her. As her magic grows, so do her feelings for him. Until she's terrified Sang will be the next one she loses. In summer, Clara must choose between her power and her happiness, her duty and the people she loves, before she loses everything. I'm really, really excited about this. It sounds phenomenal. And also, have you seen this under the dust jacket? Prettiest book I've seen in a while. So yeah, I'm really excited about picking this one up as well. I have read the first couple of pages just to make sure that I think I'll be able to get through it, because the audiobook doesn't come out for this until the 29th of September, and obviously usually I read my fantasy audibly. But it seems really fast paced and I'm really enjoying the writing style already. I'm only 6 pages in. I am thinking about continuing on with this for a little bit tonight, so that I will be a certain ways in, because obviously this is not a small book and we only have 36 hours, and I do have 2 other books I want to get through. This is 367 pages, so I am thinking about starting this and trying to get a decent ways into it if I can. But that is my TBR for the POLARTHON Meltdown. So I'm hoping to get to all of these. Fingers crossed I can. But as I say, the nature of witches will cover both climate change and weather. But I would like to get to Low Volume 2. And obviously I have Melt as well, which I have to read because it's on my Bookopoly-thon TBR. So fingers crossed I can get to all of these, but this is my plan and I'm really, really excited, especially about Nature of Witches. I'm just so glad I've been able to get this on. So yeah, that's my plan, and I will check back in with you when the readathon starts.
I don't wanna let you down. It's the only thing I think about every morning. You know my life ain't figured out, but I promise if you stick around it'll never get boring. We'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. Will you stay even when you wanna walk away? When times get bad, we can learn to love what we have. I don't wanna let you down,
hoping you're doing well. It is Sunday now. It's 10 o'clock on Sunday morning and I did no reading yesterday, so POLARTHON's going great. I'm glad you asked. I essentially went out yesterday. It was so nice, the weather was amazing, and my friend was going to the Bolton Beer and Food Festival, and I've never been, considering I've lived in Bolton all my life. Well, apart from the last 10 years I've lived in Wigan, but considering I grew up in Bolton and I'm Bolton born and bred, I've never been to the Beer and Food Festival. In fact, I didn't even know it was a thing, to be perfectly honest. So went to the Beer and Food Festival with him and his mum, and it was a really good day. I had such a good time. They had live music on. We sat down and had a couple of beers in the middle of town and watched the live music. There was this guy on called Luke McCall. He was friggin' amazing. Yeah, it was a really, really good day. Very, very warm weather. Really busy, to be fair. It was the first time I've been in a very crowded place like that since the pandemic. I did get anxious for a little bit when we started off, but once I got used to the amount of people and the fact that we kept like stopping at stalls or sitting down having a drink or something helped. Like, there was a little bit of give there. It was just a really, really, really good day. And then we went to the pub afterwards and had a few drinks in there, and I got in reasonably late, so I didn't read at all yesterday. So this is going well. What I'm gonna do is actually push POLARTHON 24 hours. So for me, we're now 10 hours into the readathon. I know I shouldn't do this. The whole point is that we do it in a 36-hour window so that we can save the meltdown and all of this lot, but I really want to give this a good go, and I really want to get through my books. So if I can do it today, the whole day, I will do, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. The F1 starts at 2 o'clock. I missed qualifying yesterday, and as it turns out, apparently it was the best qualifying ever to have been seen. If you are a fan of F1, very quickly, Max Verstappen ended up getting pole position. George Russell is in second. Lewis is in third. Daniel Ricciardo's in fourth. I am so proud of my boy. I love him to death. Lando did not have a good day. He had an accident, but he's still in ninth. So very proud of him as well. So yes, I believe Charles Leclerc had an accident as well, but I think he's starting in 10th, so that's good. Hopefully both of them neither of them need to start from the grid, depending on the repairs on the cars. But yeah, Sebastian Vettel was an absolute angel and checked in on Lando when the accident happened. I think he'd actually called for a red flag earlier because of the weather, and it didn't happen, and Lando ended up spinning out and hitting the car. So yeah, he checked in on Lando on his way past. He's an angel. I just love Sebastian Vettel. He's a darling. So very exciting qualifying. The F1's on at 2 o'clock. I'm really excited. I'm really hoping George can get some decent points today. I really want him to do well. So I'm really looking forward to the F1 at 2 o'clock. So that's going to be a nice break as well. I can't tell you how exhausted I'm feeling from yesterday. I don't think I realised how mentally draining yesterday was, because I was with my friend and his mum all day, and then when we got back to the pub, we saw loads of people we knew as well, because obviously we've both grown up in Bolton, so we saw loads of people we knew as well. And then when we got to the pub, we saw some friends that we'd seen at the festival, so they came and joined us for a little bit, and my friend's mum's partner came and joined us for a little bit, and then we were socialising, just socialised the whole day. And not only that, obviously it was very busy at the market. I haven't done that level and that amount of people in such a long time. My entire body is physically hurting because we walked so much. So yeah, just very exhausted today. So I'm excited to read though. So yeah, had a really good day yesterday, so we're going to get on it now. We're going to get on with reading. I have my witch's brew full of fruit tea, and I have my book, The Nature of Witches. Now I started this, I'm 32 pages in. I started it on Friday before I actually went out, and let me tell you, I think this could be a new favourite book, and I'm equally terrified and excited that this could end up being my favourite book of the year. I'm terrified because I don't know how anything will knock Night Shadow off that top spot, to be perfectly honest, and I'm a little bit nervous that it might be able to do it, but I'm excited because the thought of a new book being better than Night Shadow is amazing, to be fair. So I'm loving this so far. I've already mentioned previously in the previous clip what this is about, but I'm just loving it. The way that this is set out, the characters already so far, I'm really enjoying. Clara is great, but so basically these witches are seasonal witches. So you could be a summer witch, you could be a winter witch, autumn witch, and a spring witch. I forgot which season I was missing then. However, Clara is the first ever witch that has been around in a long time, and an ever witch can control all the seasons essentially. So she is supposed to be the savior and all of this lot, but she previously something happened. It tells you really early on. I'm only 32 pages and I already know about it, but I don't want to spoil it because it is a reasonable chunk of the story. I think it's going to it kind of plays on her personality and why she won't deal with her magic entirely, but something happened previously and it scares her to use her magic as a whole because she doesn't think she can control it and she's scared of hurting people. So but the idea is that the school she goes to want her, they say that she can save the planet essentially. There is an issue with the weather and all of this lot, climate change, etc., and the witches are trying to help the world along and help people survive and everything by using their magic to help control the issue with the weather. However, Clara could actually deal with the entire issue as a whole if she could just maintain her magic and actually use it, but she refuses to use it to its full extent. She's scared she's going to hurt people, and there is this thing where at a certain point in the year to do with the moon phases, an Everwitch can actually lose their magic entirely if they stay out during the night. I think in general a witch can just lose their magic if they stay out during the night. So usually obviously everyone goes indoors and makes sure that they don't leave the house during that period, and her plan is to try and get rid of her magic because she doesn't want to deal with this anymore. She doesn't want this pressure on her, etc, etc. But it's really good to see as well how through the seasons, because she is an Everwitch and she feels all of the seasons, her entire mood, personality, everything about her can, other than her looks obviously, can change through the seasons. So she's been dating this boy through summer for the last 3 weeks, but through summer, and as the autumn equinox comes in, she literally, her entire feelings for this boy just leave her body, and she just doesn't give a shit. And he is a summer witch, so he's going back. He's from the UK, he's going back to the UK. He's just been there to help out with the fires in California, and he's going back, and he literally sees the change because he's with her when it happens, and he goes, oh my god, I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't realize it would be this, I would be able to tell this much. Like, you literally just don't care right now, do you? And she's like, no, not really. So sorry. It's fascinating. I am obsessed. I think this is going to be fantastic. I've even started to tab it up. I don't know if you'll see that because I'm only 32 pages in, but I've even started to tab it up because there were so many things that I was like, I need to make sure I remember this. I want to make sure I remember this. Oh, that's an important piece of information. So I'm really excited about carrying on with this. And then obviously I still have Melt and also Low Volume 2 as well. So I may break the day up with Low Volume 2, but I kind of want to get through this before I pick this up. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. I might want to save this a little bit more for tomorrow somewhat, so I might get to a certain point in this and then pick up Melt, but we'll see. But I'm gonna go because I've been rambling for way too long, and it's now 12 minutes past 10. So I'm gonna go, and I will check back in with you when I've got an update for you.
6.5 hours later.
Hello. It's later on in the afternoon. It's currently 4:30, and the F1's been delayed because the weather is absolutely shocking in Belgium this weekend. So it's been entirely delayed. We're hoping to get an update soon on what's going on, but I've been trying to read while that's been going on because it makes no sense to me to sit here and watch them struggle with content while they're waiting to get news back on whether or not the race is going to go ahead, to see whether the rain will stop coming down. Mother Nature is not being great today. So I've been trying to continue reading. I have been continuing on with The Nature of Witches. I'm definitely taking my time with this, which is fine. But I'm having an amazing time with it so far. I am now on page 139, so I have read 100 pages. I have been tabbing it up, as I mentioned earlier, but I've decided to go in with pen as well and annotate a little bit. I've never annotated a book in my life other than textbooks for uni, and I forgot how satisfying it is, to be perfectly honest. I have gone ahead and ordered a second copy of this so that I will have like a clean copy as well. I'm a little bit odd like that. I just like to have a clean copy, especially if like I'm going to lend it out, or which I probably wouldn't with this anyway because I'd be terrified of not getting the book back. But like if I want to lend it out to my parents, Kitty, or whatever. I think my mum might like this one maybe. So I have ordered a second copy, which also means as well that I can have one copy without the dust jacket on and one copy with the dust jacket on, which I really like, especially when, you know, like it's got a design under the dust jacket. I always want a copy with the dust jacket on and one without. So yeah, it would be nice to do that as well on the shelves. I'll obviously keep the other dust jacket because quite frankly this cover is stunning as well. But yeah, still loving this so much and having a really good time with it. But I actually think I'm going to try and pick up Melt now and get through a bit of this while we're still waiting on the race to decide what the bloody hell they're doing. So I think I'm going to pick this up and try and get through some of this. It isn't too long. It is 252 pages, so I am hoping to get through this reasonably quick, and as well the text is like a reasonable size. It's middle grade, so we'll see. There's no illustrations in here though. So we'll see how I get on with this, but yeah, this is what I'm planning on picking up now, and then I will get back to The Nature of Witches later when I can fully concentrate on it, because at the moment I'm having to keep the TV on so that I know whether or not the race has started, because I will just put the book down and watch the race. But yeah, I'm going to carry on with this, well, start this actually, and I will check back in with you, and I've got an update for you.
I think it all came back when I was looking back at you. Oh, how I've missed those sights. You must have missed mine too. Did you breathe me in? If you would only know that you're in my air. For every second, everywhere I go. So why are we hiding in these
Hello, it's later on. It's almost 9 o'clock and I wanted to come and give you an update. I did finish Melt by Elle Fountain. This was good. I think I've given it 3 stars. It was very average. I feel like it was too small for what it was trying to do. There was 0 character development. It was very, very fast with what happened, and I feel like the ending was entirely rushed. However, I do think it's probably a good story for kids. By kids I mean like middle grade age. I do think there were some parts in here that blurred the lines massively as far as middle grade and YA are concerned. There was talks of like espionage and stuff like that, I've got to be honest. When I was a kid, like middle grade age, I didn't know what the hell espionage was. I didn't even know that was a word. So I don't know, maybe it's different in today's world and kids, you know, around the ages of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 know what espionage is. Who the hell knows? But yeah, overall I think the story surrounding this was pretty well done. As far as global warming is concerned, I think it definitely brings the issue to light for kids, and I think that's really important. It's obviously a problem that is very, very real at the moment and very, very current, and although it doesn't affect, for example, my grandparents or my parents, it is affecting us at the moment, but massively to a point where it will affect our way of living. Doesn't affect me, and I don't know if it ever will. It possibly could, but I don't know if it ever will. It will probably affect my nephew's generation and certainly his kids. So as far as I'm concerned, if I can do things to make changes now, as for him and for his kids and for their kids, then I'll do whatever I can. I think it's really important to be having these discussions, and I think it's important for kids to be having them as well. So I do like the fact that this is in a book and Elle's trying to bring that to the forefront of kids' attention. So I like it in that sense, but overall I think the general story was very rushed. And I do think there could have been a little bit more character development, maybe a little bit more time with the characters. Like, it was a while before you two and B met, and then once they did meet, their story kind of ended very quickly. It was very, very rushed. But yeah, overall 3 stars for this one. I'm glad I've read it now. So this, in general, this book fulfills all three prompts: global warming, weather and ice. I did read this for the ice prompt. I don't know if I'm going to get to low. I did try picking it up, but I'm just not really in the mood, which is really weird. I'm always in the mood for a graphic novel. I think it's just in general the story low. I didn't love volume 1. I think I gave it 3 stars, but I was intrigued enough to want to carry on. It's just that I don't know if I'm in the mood for it at the moment. So obviously I'm going to carry on. Obviously I'm going to carry on with The Nature of Witches. I'm actually going to go up to bed and try and read a little bit more. I am getting very tired though. I did have a very busy day yesterday, so I am getting tired. I've tabbed up to the next, because there are these, how gorgeous is this? For each season there is a page to let you know that obviously our main character will change seasons with her, you know, ever witchness. So her magic changes with the seasons. So I have tabbed up to spring, which will get me to page 199. So I think I'm going to try and get to that point tonight. If I want to carry on, I will do, but I feel like that's a really nice place to stop, and then tomorrow I can finish off the last like 150, is it more than that, 160 odd pages. So I'll try and finish that off tomorrow. Well, I will finish that off tomorrow. I have no choice but to, because I have other plans. So I'll finish that off tomorrow. So yeah, in general though, both of these books will fulfill all 3 prompts. So the other prompts, I was reading this for weather, which it 100% fulfills, and also global warming, but this fulfills all 3 prompts anyway, so I will complete the readathon. So yeah, I'm not going to pick up Low Volume 2. I don't want to force myself through it, especially considering I've not necessarily loved the first one. I do want to pick it up when I'm in the mood for it, because I am intrigued, but I didn't love it. So it's just that I want to carry on and see if I'm going to like it as I get further into the story. But obviously I need to be in the mood for it. So I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to give this a little bit more of a read, and I will check back in with you tomorrow, let you know how I'm getting on, and probably wrap this vlog up.
The next day.
Okay team, good afternoon. It is Monday afternoon. It's way past the time I should have finished this readathon, but never mind, it doesn't friggin' matter. I'm here to wrap up. So I did manage to complete 2 books for POLARTHON, which completed all 3 prompts, which I'm really glad about, but obviously I shifted the time frame to suit me a little bit better. But yeah, I believe I'm not the only person that did that, but I had a great time during this readathon. I have read one of my favourite books of the year during this readathon. Whether or not it's my actual favourite book of the year, I'm not sure, but let me explain. So first of all, I read Melt by Elle Fountain. This is a middle grade about global warming and following 2 young kids, U2 and B, and there is some other stuff going down in this. I gave this 3 stars. I explained yesterday why, but yeah, overall 3 stars for this one, and this completed the prompt of ice. So that was a good one. In fact, this completed all 3 prompts, to be fair, weather and global warming as well. And then the second book that I read for this readathon is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin, and I cannot wait to pick up more from Rachel Griffin in the future. I really hope she does more books like this. This was like nothing else I've ever read before. This combines magic and witches and global warming, weather, nature. I just loved everything about this. It was so beautifully done. I loved the writing style, I loved the characters, I loved the plot, I loved just everything. It was so atmospheric. I just freaking loved everything. This got 10s and 9s across the board, more 10s than 9s, and I just loved it so much. It ended up with a 9.71 on Corpile, which is the exact same rating that Night Shadow's got. So it's up there with Night Shadow. It's on par. I loved this so much, and I don't know if you can tell how much I loved it, but these are all of my tabs, and there are pages where I've like just drawn all over everything. I just had the best time reading this. I cannot wait to get my second copy so that I have a clear copy as well as my now illustrated copy as well. Not illustrated, illustrated annotated copy as well. So yeah, really looking forward to having a blank copy as well, so that when I inevitably come to reread this, which I've no doubt I will, I may make this like a yearly reread around this time of year because it was so good. I won't get distracted by my annotations. Or I may get partway through and decide to reread my annotated one and add to it again. I don't know. So I just loved this so much. This was fascinating. We're following Clara in here, who is an Everwitch. You get witches who are summer witches, spring witches, autumn witches, winter witches, and basically Clara is an Everwitch who can control all of the seasons. So basically, as you come out of summer and into autumn, the summer witches, their magic kind of dies down. They have a little bit left, but not a great deal, and the autumn witches become very powerful for their season. However, Clara has powerful magic throughout the whole year, but her personality and mood will entirely change with the seasons. And there's a lot of things going into this. The main part of this is the global warming, as well as Clara's magic and her Everwitchness. Basically, she is deemed to be the person that could save the planet or help save the planet. and use her magic essentially to help control the environment and the global warming, etc., and all the bad things that the shades, people with that magic, have done to the planet and gotten the planet to this point essentially. I really loved the message that came across in this as far as the global warming was concerned. I think it was really, really powerful and done really, really well. It kind of left me feeling a little bit bummed about the fact that we don't have witches that would be able to help us try and turn this shit around that we've done to the planet, because we really do need help. But just phenomenal, absolutely amazing. I fucking loved it. This book was incredible, absolutely incredible. I loved every single second of reading this. It was incredible, and I highly recommend. I bought this based on the cover alone. That was it. I literally bought it based on the cover. Then I read the synopsis and I was like, this actually sounds really good. And obviously I knew that Under the Dust Jacket looked like this. And I went into it thinking that this was probably going to be quite lyrical and quite flowery writing, and just, I'm probably going to end up DNFing it, quite similar to like Once and Future Witches or something. And it just wasn't. It's the writing style is friggin' beautiful, so beautiful, and there is a little bit of whimsy in there, but I feel like it's more like, I don't want to say middle grade whimsy because it's not. If anything, this is a YA. I was talking to Pris about this yesterday, and it's a YA, but I actually feel like this is more new adult than it is YA. Our main character Clara is 17, Sang, one of the other characters in it, is 18, and these are like really responsible older 17 and 18-year-olds, like way more responsible and older than I was at 17 and 18, that's for damn sure. And I feel like it's way more new adult vibe than YA, but generally just, I loved everything about this book. Definitely a new favourite book. I am obsessed and highly recommend. So great shout from Ashley for reading this one for POLARTHON, because it just didn't even cross my mind that this would work for that, but it does have global warming in it. There is obviously weather in it, so shout out to Ashley for mentioning that to me, because I love you a whole heckin' ton, because it means you forced me to pick this up. So yeah, basically I have finished POLARTHON and I am really happy with what I managed to read. I know I had to push it back, which is a bit of a bummer, but I've done it anyway and I'm really, really glad. So yeah, thanks to Jade for hosting as always. I do love POLARTHON. I love the week-long one in February, so keep your eyes open for any more announcements on POLARTHON. I will leave the Twitter down below if you want to go and check that out. Make sure your notifications and the bell are turned on so that you will know when she's making another announcement for the next one. And yeah, thanks to Jade for hosting, and I had a great time. I hope you all had a fabulous time. Let me know in the comments down below if you took part. Did you have a good time? What did you read? And I shall see you next time. Bye for now.